This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Kiss me like a love song. So I'm gonna call me. Tengo sus noches y su pasión.
You're listening to the Emerald FlowShow on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 21 of the Emerald FlowShow. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Emerald FlowShow, and you can go to voicesofwrestling.com/donate to donate to the podcast if you are feeling super generous, and anything would be greatly appreciated. I'm Gerard DeTroio here with Paul Vosch. Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, starting to feel a bit better now. I mean, it's been a while since we've recorded, and I think it was like a combination of like both of us kind of getting busy and then me getting really bad sinus infection over the weekend. So now I'm starting to feel better. Let's just say if we had recorded like, I don't know, a day or two ago, I would have sounded very differently than I do right now.
Yeah, but I think it was perfect timing because we managed to get in probably some of the latest Noah show that we'll talk about later. Paul, breaking news. From at Metal0515 on Twitter. Now Keiji Muto is on a radio show saying he is worried about Sting's fee because of the weaker yen.
Yeah, it's. I wonder what his solution for that is going to be. Is he going to be like, hey, let's sell more like $3,500 dollar tickets?
He can pay him in Global Force Gold.
Oh God, yeah, that would be amazing if you just did that instead. Just, oh God, what if they bring in Jeff Jarrett? Oh, please.
But I assume that they've got to sort of bring him in. They got to bring Sting in one way or another now that it's already announced and everything. So
yeah. Now you can't back out of it now. Where you like you did the whole thing on Rampage and you like did a whole big deal about it. You had Tony Khan talk about it and everything, and then you can't just back out because you're like, oh, the exchange rate's bad, so now I have to technically pay him more. Like, kind of would be a bit shit.
But it's the most Muto comment ever for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Not to hype up the show, but to complain about the cost. I was like, dude, you're gonna get a shitload of money out of it anyway. Like, you're fine.
And so, since the last time we recorded, I guess we should probably talk about the passing of Antonio Inoki. Obviously one of the biggest names in professional wrestling history, although this podcast is very much the child of Giant Baba, I suppose, in a lot of ways. But, when I would have first started following Japanese wrestling in 1999, Enoki was sort of on his reign of terror and everything, sort of driving out Shinya Hashimoto out of the company. And then, I was there for all of the infamous stuff like Nagata getting knocked out by Mirko Cro Cop and stuff. So I have very complex feelings about Enoki, and certainly my initial introduction to him was not great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for me it was more like kind of like, because I got into it kind of after that, when he was pretty much just like I don't know, when he was more like just like a legend, basically, like he wasn't really all that active anymore. He like all he was doing was really like IGF stuff, basically at that point. So that's really like my first impression of him, and then obviously kind of like finding out all of the like stuff that he did as a politician and everything. Like definitely like a very complex person, I would say. Someone that is obviously hugely important for the history of wrestling, like not just in Japan, but like in general. But also someone that did a bunch of shady stuff as well, like the way his political career ended, where he embezzled a bunch of money and basically got kicked out. And some of his like kind of weirder political beliefs as well. And then obviously him nearly destroying New Japan. But then obviously, I mean, yes, he nearly destroyed New Japan, but there also wouldn't be a New Japan without him. Like, don't think people can I don't think, like, I know people know that he's like the founder, but you really kind of need to read up on the whole process, how like New Japan even got founded. Like, you could actually argue that without Enoki, there's also no All Japan. Because,
yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Like, if you actually want to listen to like a more like concrete like breakdown of the whole like story of like how that happened, is it's actually over on the Eastern Lariat. You have they actually had an episode where they talk about the whole kind of like Enoki and Baba and the breakup of the JWA with, how do you pronounce it? Kinch, I think?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Who also did an excellent series of articles on it as well. And really like Enoki kind of breaking off or kind of failing in his coup in the JWA, and then that leading to the formation of New Japan, is also very key to Baba leaving the JWA as well and forming All Japan. So really without Enoki, if Enoki never gets into wrestling or whatever, if he's just like a dude that just stays in like Brazil, like if he never gets found, then there's a real possibility that this is like a JWA podcast. But then again, that would be like the monopoly promotion in Japan, like, and there wouldn't really be anything else. Like, I guess maybe there would be a DDT, but there wouldn't be a Noah, there wouldn't be an All Japan, there wouldn't be a New Japan. Like the whole landscape of Japanese wrestling would look so vastly different.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Enoki never becomes a pro wrestler, though, Baba would have still been the top guy in the JWA, and like he would have gotten all the power because like the NTV would have backed him, which was basically the case, was it not?
Yes. Like he would have still been like the main guy and everything. So, but I mean, that's still like, it's still a different kind of, like there is an entire generation of wrestlers that were like JWA mainstays that basically left the business when that promotion went under. And those guys would have stayed hugely influential, which again, I think would have had an influence on who actually gets pushed. And like, it's not going to be completely different, but there's definitely certain things that would have gone a different way under like a JWA-led, like a Baba-led JWA is still different from All Japan, I would say.
Yes, probably, definitely. But in any timeline, Rusher Kimura would have been the king of the cage match.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, that happens. That is a fixed point in the space-time continuum.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, I just have like really complex thoughts. Obviously, I recognize like how legendary he is, but obviously, my first introduction to him was not great.
No, definitely not. It's just like literally the first thing you see coming into it. It's the first thing you see is Inoki just being like, "No, it's fine that Nagata got knocked out by Krokop.
I think
that's good for the business, actually."
Well, one of the first things I would have read about Inoki was like the whole Naoya Ogawa versus Hashimoto thing. So that just, put things in perspective.
Yeah. No, it's and Kendo Kashin winning the title after Gracie blows out his leg.
Yep. so many fascinating things that are just going on, and I thought just we had to address that because I mean it's Antonio Inoki, obviously.
And I mean, especially because of, still his influence on Noah today.
Yes, it is sort of an Enokiism promotion a little bit these days, or maybe a lot, for better or worse, I suppose. And so moving on to that, it is Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame season. So I just wanted to take a quick second to plug. I got 2 articles up on voicesofwrestling.com. The first article I wrote was why I think Shenshiro Takagi is a Hall of Famer, but if at the very least he should be on the ballot because this is like DDT's 25th anniversary this year. And lo and behold, I got Shenshiro Takagi on the ballot under non-wrestlers as a promoter, basically, because that's his only case as a promoter, not a wrestler. And then I also have another article basically on why I think Tiger Jeet Singh is a slam dunk Hall of Famer because he is back on the ballot this year under the historical category, and he had only been on the ballot before in 1998 and 1999, and in 1999 he fell below the 10% threshold. I'm not sure why. That's just really surprising given how big a star in Japan he was. I don't think he was quite as big as Abdullah the Butcher, but he was close. And so it just always seemed pretty obvious to me that he should be a Hall of Famer given his Japan run from like 1973 to about 1992. Because in 92 he headlined like a Yokohama Stadium show against Onita in front of 30,000 people. So that's almost like 20 years as, a sizable draw in Japan.
Yeah. No, I think both of those, are both of those articles are very well worth your time to read up as well. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I would vote for either of them if I had a ballot, but definitely reading the articles made me reconsider that.
Spoiler alert, we'll talk about this more later before the deadline, but I am voting this year for the first time ever, and I will be voting for both of them, of course.
No, that would be very weird, basically.
Yes.
You're like, both of these guys are slam dunk Hall of Famers, but I'm not going to vote for them.
Well, I think Singh is absolutely a slam dunk. I think people are going to debate Takagi a lot more, but there's promoters in the Hall of Fame basically based on how long they lasted. Like Don Owen is in there because he promoted for 50 years.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of votes from
Portland was never nearly as big as DDT is. As the way what Takagi managed to make DDT into is not something Portland ever even got close to.
Right. Now Don Owen also helped got over the line because all of the older wrestlers vote for him because he had good payoffs.
Yes.
So that helps, but but that was so I sort of look at that as sort of your baseline of what a promoter can be to get in.
Yeah.
So,
but you could argue that he is Takagi is basically the greatest thing to ever happen to comedy wrestling, basically.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not even here to defend his comedy, as I am sometimes not a fan of it, but I think it's just the influence and the longevity there.
Yeah.
And he's, as far as I think, he's the second most powerful man in Japanese pro wrestling after Kidani.
Yeah. Which is weird to think about, knowing where DDT originally comes from.
Well, yeah, and that's the point of why, there's no one like him and why he should be a Hall of Famer, basically.
Yes, exactly. No. That's fascinating person.
And so we will start and move on to All Japan, who had their show at Korakuen Hall on October 2nd in front of 821 fans, which I got to say is kind of decent given what this was main evented by.
Yeah, I think I was definitely happy when I saw the number. It's because the junior heavyweight title really almost never gets to main eventer show, and really to kind of go to above 800 without a Triple Crown title match for promotion like All Japan, I would say you can count that as a win.
Yeah, this is the first time the junior title main evented Korakuen Hall, and I think possibly any show since, I want to say February or March 2013. I can't remember the exact date, but it was main evented by, I think, Kanemaru versus...
Kai?
No. because Kai had just become a heavyweight. Shuji Kondo, I think. And that was the 5-match series when Burning came into the company.
Yeah, you're talking about a very different promotion at that time.
Yes, but still, that's the last time the title main evented. Mm-hmm. So we had the opening match, and we'll just go through this undercard real quick because I thought there was really nothing to it. Yoshitatsu Tajiri and Jun and Rei Saito defeated Shuji Ishikawa, Takawa Mori, Izanagi, and Hokuto Mori in 9 minutes and 38 seconds with a pile driver from Rei on Izanagi. So Rei seems to be getting all the big falls, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Because he's the one who pinned Shuji Ishikawa.
Makes sense to me. I mean, he is the more charismatic one.
At this point, yes. So I think they see that in him for sure. Match was, perfectly acceptable little opening match. Yep. Next up, for the Gaori TV title, Toshizo defeated Dan Tamura in 10 minutes and 22 seconds with the Fisherman Buster. I mean, it was fine. It was a little disappointing. It was just there. It wasn't even Toshizo didn't cheat or anything, which is good, but it didn't really have any sense of this guy's an aggressive heel either.
Yeah, I don't really
roughing him up.
I don't even get why they did this. I felt like the whole Dan versus Voodoo Murderers story felt concluded when at Budokan when they did the AL Asia title match and he won. So I don't even know why they did this one. And yeah, like I said, it wasn't a bad match, but it was also just kind of there. It had no intensity, and yeah, it was just a perfectly acceptable wrestling match, and then it was over and felt really kind of nothing.
As we'll talk about later, who knows where Voodoo Murders is going.
Yeah.
Next up, we had the Hokkaido Tourism Ambassador Showdown special singles match. Toru Yano defeated Black Menso-Ray in 7 minutes and 48 seconds by countout. I've said I was long over Toru Yano, but I was somewhat curious to see what would happen in All Japan against Black Menso-Ray. I thought this was horrible.
I mean, this was exactly kind of what I expected it to be. It was just all Toru Yano shtick, and yeah. I mean, it's not like that he even did anything different. It was just literally, this could have been he could have had the exact same match in New Japan. And there would have been no difference here. It was just bad comedy.
So basically Black Menso-Ray tried to trap Yano under the ring, but it was Yano that ended up trapping Menso-Ray under the ring for the count out.
Yeah.
And then next up, Jake Lee and Yuma Aoyagi defeated Suwama and Kono in 8 minutes and 32 seconds when Kono got disqualified. I thought there wasn't much to this match. It looked like it was about to pick up, and then the DQ happened. It was just storyline advancement.
Yeah, I mean, really, the match was kind of pointless. I think it was all about the post-match angle.
Right, and oh god, I couldn't believe it, but I guess I should have seen it coming. The Sato brothers joined Voodoo Murders.
They really are the Dream Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't know. Is this leading to them turfing out Suwama? I think maybe. I don't know.
Or is this gonna lead to them just shunting out all of the non-All Japan members of Voodoo Murderers back onto the Indies, and then we just have Voodoo Murderers All Japan version and Voodoo Murderers 01 version?
Yeah, I could see that. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Taru as the Saito's manager, as not a Voodoo Murders thing, would be actually not a bad idea.
He actually looked really good in the suit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to rationalize this, and I really can't. But we'll see. I don't know.
No, I think he would that's probably, if they want to keep him around, that's the way to go, is to just have Taru be the manager instead of having him wrestle.
Oh God, yes, for sure. So yeah, that was the big storyline advancement on the show. And then next up, when things really picked up for an All Japan 50th anniversary special match, Yuji Nagata, Yuto Nakashima, Ryohei Oiwa, and Kosei Fujita defeated Kento Miyahara, Takuya Nomura, Ryo Inoue, and Yuma Anzai in 14 minutes and 14 seconds when Fujita used a crab hold on Inoue. This was awesome.
Yeah, this rule.
Just the young guys, young lions, young boys in All Japan. I don't know what you can call the All Japan guys. They just stiffed the shit out of each other. It was great, and they wrestled their asses off and everything, and it was sort of fun, because like Nagata and like Miyahara would get in there and everything for a couple of seconds, but it was really about all the young talent, and it was, oh man, if the crowd could have made noise in this match, it would have been incredible.
Yeah. You could actually like just feel like the murmur in the crowd where they were. Well, I mean, they did break like.
They made some noise, especially as it went on, but it's just an actual full cheering crowd would have been awesome.
Yes, that would have made the match even better. I think that also again like really showed that like they've got something here with like Yuma Anzai, like because I thought he looked really good in here as well, and obviously I mean New Japan has like an excellent school, but I think they all like really showed up here. Like in a way, like it wasn't quite as intense, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of those Noah versus New Japan like face-offs that we got like a few years back. Definitely. Like those were even more intense than this was, but like this like definitely reminded me of it. Like it got close.
Did you ever see the initial Noah Juniors versus New Japan Juniors matches from like I think 2003, 2004?
I don't think I have.
That's what sort of popped into my head with that, because that was incredibly heated, and that was before the heavyweights even started mixing it up really a lot.
Yeah. So, like, I would actually hope that, like, with Nagata sticking around, that maybe we'll get, like, a little bit more of this, because I would definitely be in favor of that.
Well,
and I think it would definitely do the New Japan, like Young Lions, and, like, I think it would, both groups, like, I think would very massively, like, benefit from having, like, other people to work with than just like the same one or two guys, basically.
I want Nagata to bring his little Kazakh or big Kazakh trainee.
The big Kazakh, yeah. And then he can wrestle Cyrus. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, because that guy looks like an incredible.
That guy is a big unit. Like holy shit.
Well, that's what Nagata managed to. He still managed to get a star pupil of his own, even if he couldn't get Anzai.
I think that's basically his rebound. So like, I couldn't get Yuma Anzai, so I'm just gonna go to fucking Central Asia, just fight the biggest dude I can see, and just go to a random wrestling school, find the biggest dude I can see, and then just bring him over to Japan.
Also, one spot, because I've watched this match, because this match they put up on YouTube, which I thought was such a great idea. So if you don't have All Japan TV, you can go on their YouTube channel and watch the match in full. And I've watched this 3 or 4 times, and every time I see it, I burst out laughing. You know, when Nagata goes for his low drop kick fake, but Miyahara fakes him out, and then Miyahara does the salute and then drop kicks Nagata's leg. It is just so funny, and I just laugh every time on that. This is obviously a very memorable match.
Yes.
So, like, check it out. Absolutely.
And for once, All Japan does, like, a good marketing move by, like, putting something up for free on their YouTube that seemed to get some buzz.
Yeah, for sure. I was, like, retweeting it constantly and everything. Is like, watch this, right? And everyone agreed. I think the people that did watch it all loved it.
Yeah. So, good job by All Japan.
And then we go on to the World Tag Team titles. Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda defeated Koji Doi and Kuma Arashi in 14 minutes and 31 seconds, with the final event from Honda on Arashi. I thought this was pretty good, especially in the closing stretch. But I don't know. I guess I was kind of expecting even a little more from this. But I mean, it's still very good.
It was good, but I would say it was one of the weaker title defenses that Ashino and Honda have had.
Yep.
Like, it was definitely still a good match because they're an excellent team, but I also went in expecting, like, a bit more. Like, especially after I actually liked that Twin Towers versus
I thought that
match.
Twin Towers match was better than this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I was, like, going into this being like, oh, this is, given how good Honda and Ashino have been, and given that Kumadoi managed to carry, like, the Twin Towers to a good match, that in theory means that they should have a great match with each other. But it was good, but I was also like walking away being like, okay, that was it. Okay, that was fine. Yeah, but definitely was like, could have been a bit more. Just I don't even know why. Because there wasn't really anything wrong with the match.
these guys could have used a couple of more minutes to really have a
Yeah.
great final stretch, and I don't think they got that because these guys could go 20 minutes easily and have an amazing tag match, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe they also wanted to like save up some time and really give like the junior match the time it deserved.
For sure.
So I guess it's just they just were basically the victim of like we need to cut some time somewhere. So you guys are just the semi-main, so you're just getting 14 minutes.
Yeah. And in the main event for the PWF World Junior Heavyweight title, Atsuki Aoyagi defeating Rising Hayato in 17 minutes and 59 seconds with a Firebird splash for his first successful defense. This was incredible. I would say that it absolutely flirted with Match of the Year candidate territory. I don't think it quite got there for me, but like these guys took the ball and ran with it to really establish like Aoyagi's like we have a new junior division type thing, and it was awesome. There were some insane spots. Hayato did a swanton bomb off of the post to the outside with Aoyagi
Did you
on
see
the
that
ground.
he did the Jeff Hardy post before he did it?
Yes. I would say you should stop using Jeff Hardy as an influence, but, you know. And there was just like lots of fly moves, Poison Rana, lots of near falls. I thought it was really interesting the way some of the structure because like Aoyagi really looked like he had like Hayato's number early on, sort of dominated, but then Hayato made quite the comeback, and that's when all the really crazy stuff started. But Atsuki eventually put him away, and I think this is like generational feud in the junior division for the next few years to come. Really,
Yes, absolutely. Like this is what this division is going to be built around for like a while. So I really hope that these two are obviously excellent, but they also need to have like a good division around them because they need to have the complementary pieces as well. And I think right now it is mostly just a bunch of older guys around them. So I think that's really kind of the next step now is like you need to capitalize that you have something here with these two and actually like bring in some younger guys as well or build up some younger guys from your own dojo that are like juniors so that you actually can have a proper division and can actually capitalize that you have two very special talents in your division right now.
I think there's a case to be made for speeding up Ryo Inoue's development.
Yeah.
Because if he's just going to be an opening match rookie for like 2 more years, I think that sort of doesn't help the junior division.
No, exactly. I think that's kind of where some All Japan has kind of been hurt a little bit by like sticking to kind of more of an old school development approach. Like they need bodies on the roster, so they kind of should speed people up a little bit. But I also feel like they should bring in people from the outside to be kind of their own trainees, like not just start them completely green, but maybe people that have trained elsewhere. Like for example, Hayato, like yes, he is a product of the dojo, but he did wrestle prior to joining All Japan.
He's still listed as a double contracted Ihame, I think is how you say it, pro wrestling.
Yeah, so again, if you bring in guys like that, you kind of see somewhere like the lower indies that you're like, oh, this guy has potential, then like just put him under contract and then just bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should probably like not use Oji Shiba as a jobber either.
Oh, yeah, no, that's another guy that you probably should like I said, I'm somewhat hesitant about pushing him just because of his like injury history. But yeah, it's actually, well, I mean, okay, because I was talking about bringing younger guys, but I think there's actually one older guy that I think would be excellent for All Japan to bring in as just for like a quick run and then putting over Atsuki at the end of it. And that's Naruki Doi, who recently became a freelancer. Like I think he would be perfect.
Would he be willing to do that?
I mean, we're going to see what he does during his DDT, like because he has like a bunch of DDT dates coming up.
Yeah.
So, but I would say that Doi never struck me as like a guy that is very protective of his butt. Like I think Doi always was like a guy that was like willing to put people over.
Well, we'll get into this in a bit, but I don't think bringing in outsider veterans just to have Atsuki beat them is the worst idea either, though.
Yeah, as long as they're like willing to, like
Yeah, exactly.
put in an effort, and they're not gonna tiger mask it. So
All right, so we'll just preview the next two upcoming shows, and then we'll go over the Real World Tag League lineup. So on October 22nd, we've got the All Japan Pro Wrestling 50th anniversary in Sanjo, the soul of a champion. Sanjo is Giant Baba's hometown, so this is sort of what some of this sets up. Yoshitatsu 20th anniversary match. Yoshitatsu versus Suwama.
that should actually be good.
Yeah. They have the most surprising chemistry in history. All Japan Pro Wrestling 50th anniversary special match in Sanjo. Masanobu Fuchi at Sushi Onita and Yuma Anzai versus Jinsei Shinzaki, Masao Inoue, and Ryo Inoue. Fascinating.
Yes, that is a very fascinating match. So I would say Anzai is actually going to be on the winning side here.
Yep. He's going to get his first win. Fuchi might pin Inoue. Or one of the Inoues.
One of the Inoues. So yeah, which Inoue is actually taking the fall here?
Well, he pinned Masao at the 50th anniversary show. So, or maybe they just bribe Onita with a win. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think, Inoue and Anzai have not been on the opposite side of a match yet. So I sort of want to see them tangle.
Yeah, and which one kind of basically gets put into like the preferential position, which Inoue obviously has seniority over him, but Anzai is very clearly the...
We'll talk about that in a second. I think it's clear where this is going.
Yeah.
And the next up we had Tajiri and Takuro Nikki from 2AW versus Izanagi and Black Mensurai.
Sure.
Shuji Ishikawa versus Rising Hayato.
It's such a bizarre match. I don't know why they...
Yeah, I don't like Hayato taking another fall
like
this right after, but whatever.
I mean, he just had a title shot. Like, you can just build him back up. It's fine.
Another match I'm not a big fan of, for reasons we'll get into. Jun Saito and Rei Saito versus Hikaru Sato and Dan Tamura. It's a non-title match for the All Asia, because Sato and Tamura are the All Asia Tag Team Champions. I guess this is sort of like they want to sort of demonstrate that the Satos are above the All Asia Tag titles. But
I guess, I mean, it's the All Asia.
We already know they
titles.
are. Yeah, I guess. And then next up, we have the Gungnir of Anarchy team, Shitaro Shino, Ryuki Honda, Yusuke Kodama, and Sego Tachibana versus Jake Lee, Yuma Aoyagi, Atsuki Aoyagi, and Hokuto Omori. That should be pretty good.
Yeah. Is this the first time we actually had the entire GOA team together?
I can't remember. Maybe?
Because
because Tachibana's been like cheering them on by the side.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think we've had like a 6-man, but I don't think we've ever had them like all 4 of them together in a match.
Yeah. So that could there could be a setup for a upcoming junior title match in this possibly. I think.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, with Kodama. Yeah, that is actually a possibility.
Oh no, because the junior title match is the next day, so I don't know if they'll set that up before.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a bit weird.
So I would maybe Tachibana is just eating a fall.
And I mean, Minoru isn't in this match, so they can't set anything up.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the main event for the Triple Crown and also Takao Mori's 30th anniversary match, Kaito Miyahara versus Takao Mori. Paul, I might have unrealistic expectations of this match.
Probably, because I think it's going to be fine. I don't expect a match of the year contender. I think Omori has been good, but yeah.
Oh, it's not going to be bad, but I think maybe I just feel like Omori's going to go crazy because this is his 30th anniversary, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be his last Triple Crown challenge.
Oh, yeah. I think that unless there's another disaster with All Japan where half the roster leaves again, I think this is definitely going to be his last Triple Crown challenge. But question is, so when Miyahara wins this, does he also win Takao Mori's 30th anniversary?
I do not believe that is on the line.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I think if they just go 15 to 20 minutes, it could be really, really good.
Oh, yeah. I think there's definitely a higher ceiling with this than there would be with a normal Omori match. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually quite excited for that, in all honesty. I don't know. I have a feeling Omori's going to really work hard.
Yeah.
And then
Like
so
going on with a bang, basically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he worked really hard in that 5-minute match against Jake Lee.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then next up, we go to the next day on the 23rd in Osaka, Edion Arena number 2. We got a show here. Yoshitatsu and Tajiri versus Izanagi and Black Menso Ray.
Sure.
Jake Lee, Yuma Aoyagi, Hokuto Omori, and Ryo Inoue versus the Strong Hearts team of T-Hawk, Al Lindemann, Issei Onitsuka, and Shigehiro Irie. That should be great. We have Jun Saito. Jun Saito and Rei Saito versus Yuji Nagata and Yuma Anzai. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I would assume that the Saitos could be able to still pin Anzai at this point.
Yeah, I think that's still fine. He is getting protected, but he's still a young boy. This is still his 5th match ever? I think it's okay.
Yeah. All Asia Tag Team title. Hikaru Sato and Dan Tamura defend against Yusuke Kodama and Seigo Tachibana. So actually, I'm going to revise it. I think Dan Tamura is probably eating a fall in that tag the day before.
Yeah. And do you think they're retaining the titles, or do you think they're losing to JOA?
They should retain, I think, and I think that's what they will.
Because
neither I know that they're all Asia tag titles, but neither Kodama and Tachibana are contracted, and they usually at least have one of the champions contracted.
True.
With the all Asias or the tag titles in
Yeah.
general. So
I guess it kind of depends, what happens in the next match as well.
Yeah.
'Cause I could maybe
We'll talk
see
about
them
that.
put both sets of tag titles on Gangnia.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, is it a thing where it's Dan Tamura is just a chase guy and not a champion?
I think so. Just the way he wrestles, he's not a guy that should hold the title for a long time.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. I'm leaning towards Sato and Tamura, but it's certainly not impossible for Kodama and Tachibana to win. Next up, we have for the World Tag Team titles, Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda defend against Suwama and Kono. Even though Suwama and Kono have not won a match, they challenged the tag champs and got it. Paul, I'm a little nervous about this match. It's not unusual to do a title change shortly before the Real World Tag League, and I don't think they should, but how concerned are you that will happen?
I am somewhat concerned, but in a way I'm actually less concerned since the Saitos turned.
Right.
Because, previously I would have been if any team from Voodoo Murderers is going to win the title, it's going to be this one. And also given the history with Suwama and Ashino as well.
Yeah.
But I think because the Saitos have turned, I think they're the more likely team to take the titles of Honda and Ashino.
Right, and there's a story already in there because they...
Yeah. They lost to them and they
challenged.
were still faces, and now they're coming back as they're gonna win Tag League and then beat them in January. I think is a story that makes more sense to me.
Okay, that does make sense. So I think Ashino will make Kono tap or whatever. And then we have the PWF World. This is not in order, I should say. For the PWF World Junior Heavyweight title, Atsuki Aoyagi versus Minoru. Which, I don't know, if he's got his working boots on, I think it'd be pretty great.
Yeah. We'll see. Also, again, I would assume Atsuki is winning this, but I don't know, you never know with the junior title in All Japan. But I would say, this definitely has a potential to be good.
Well, first of all, a great wrestler doing the job is never an unexpected thing. And on the other end,
I had to think there for a second. Wait,
Yes.
Right, I get it.
And on the other end, you've got the Strong Hearts team will definitely win their match.
Yeah.
So they'll split the difference, right?
Yeah, that would make sense. And again, I don't know what you would really especially because Minoru was just an All Asia champion.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's really much of a point to end Aoyagi's reign right now. Like, I think you really want him to carry that one for a while and really establish himself. To really, like, as you said earlier, like, this is a new division now. And what better way to show that than, like, give the new ace, like, a lengthy reign.
Against and have him beat a legend.
Yeah.
You know? He's... Because Minoru's won all 3 junior titles, right? Noah, GHC, IWGP, and then the All Japan, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So,
Did he win the GHC one?
Didn't he win it like 2-3 years ago? Like maybe in the Ledette years or something?
Maybe,
like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I'm just like, because he definitely won the junior tag titles, the GHC junior tag titles. But yeah, I think he might have had like a singles reign as well in there somewhere.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago. It was like in the last 5 years, I think.
Oh, yeah, when they were like pretty much just kind of devastated. And again, it makes sense that he would win it during the Ledette reign.
Or maybe it was just before. I don't know. I can't remember I can't remember all the dates of Noah ownership changes.
Yeah.
All I know, I think because
yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did win it in 2019.
Oh, in 2019, that's even more. I thought this was like 2017, 2018. Okay, so I think Ledette that would have been Ledette.
Like but he held it for pretty much exactly a month. Like he beat Daisuke Harada, and then he lost it to Kotaro Suzuki the next month, with like no other defenses in between. And then he has won like every other, like, I mean, in theory, like he also won the Yuta. Well, that's middleweight. But he also won the 0-1. Like, he pretty much just like won like pretty much literally every like junior title in Japan that there is.
Yeah. So that's a big win, I think, and he's going to get it. I'm pretty sure Atsuki's going to get it. Yeah. And then we've got Kento Miyahara, Rising Hayato, and Oji Shiba versus Takao Mori, Shuji Ishikawa, and the Bodyguard. I don't know. It'll be fine, I guess. And Shiba will probably eat the pin.
Yeah, so I guess Ishikawa is going to be the next challenger then?
For the Triple Crown?
Yeah, because he's going to beat Hayato. He's probably going to pin Shiba here. I
have a theory on who it's going to be, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. Well, true, we're not going to get a challenge for a while now. We're not going to get one until the next year.
They usually set it up out of the Real World Tag League. So, and I think I see where this is going. Okay. I don't know. But we'll get to my theory in 1 second. And then on October 30th, there's just a Shinkiba First Ring show called AJPW or #AJPW Halloween Maniacs. Hokuto Omori versus Yusuke Kodama. Their team finally collides. Kento Miyahara and Rising Hayato versus Yuma Aoyagi and Atsuki Aoyagi. That should be really good. Rematch of one of the best matches this year, in my opinion. Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda versus Takao Mori and Masao Inoue.
Yeah, you also forgot Yuma Anzai versus Naoya Nomura.
Well, I was going to say that for last because I wanted to talk about the other participant. Suwama, Jun Saito, and Rei Saito versus Jake Lee, Shuji Ishikawa, and Ryo Inoue. Could you be any more obvious with your match booking?
I don't know. I wonder who's taking the pin here.
Yeah. And then, you got to it. Yuma Anzai versus, and he's finally returned, Naoya Nomura. Which should be a great match. Yeah. And I don't know. I keep like working myself into this. He's coming home. It's coming home.
He's going to do it eventually. I mean, I guess maybe we will see when they do the announcements of like people getting signed in January.
Well, he's absent from what we're about to talk about next. And I thought there was a small chance he'd be in it, but the Real World Tag League teams were announced, Paul. And there's 8 teams this year in one block, not doing the 4x4 like last year, which I thought I kind of liked.
Yeah, that would pretty well.
Yeah,
because I always find it weird when a tournament doesn't have blocks. Like, it always feels odd.
Yeah. It works in the tag league, but I don't like the singles like that. Yeah. So the tag league teams are Kento Miyahara and Takuya Nomura, which is an interesting team, and they are the Can They Coexist team. And then we've got the Saito brothers, Suwama and Kono, Shotaro Ashino and Ryuki Honda, your World Tag Team Champions, Shuji Ishikawa and Cyrus. I think we talked about that they had formed a tag team last time. And here's a big one. Yuji Nagata and Yuma Anzai.
It's gonna continue to whisper Okada's salary into his ear every time they tag.
Paul, you know who else debuted in September and was in the Real World Tag League that fall or that winter or fall?
Is it one Jun Akiyama?
It is. He was in the 1992 Real World Tag League teaming with Akira Taue. Now, I can't say Anzai was quite as good as Akiyama was, but it's a big deal, I think, for him to be in this.
I mean, there's other like people that became like absolutely standout, excellent wrestlers that weren't as good rookies as like Jun Akiyama is. There's literally probably like a handful of people, like a literal handful, like 5 maybe, in the entire history of wrestling that were as good right out of the gate as Akiyama was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not big. Like Kurt Angle, Utami Hayashishida, like, I don't know, that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, Takumi Fujiwara.
Yes. So it's a small list.
Yeah.
And then Koji Doi, Kuma Arashi, and Koji Doi. And then the team that they sort of been building up the longest, if you think about it, Jake Lee and Yuma Aoyagi.
Finally together.
Like nuts and gum.
I was more thinking about like the superpower, the mega powers handshake.
Yes. And so just quickly, I'm not going to go over all the shows, even though the entire schedule is out. But just to look at, December 7th is the final night, and there's no finals. Like, this has always been sort of, not always, but traditionally back in the days, like when this tournament started in the 70s, there was no finals. It was like who has the most points on the final night. And so on that show, we've got Jake Lee and Yuma Aoyagi versus Koji Doi, Suwama and Kono versus Nagata and Anzai, Miyahara and Nomura versus the Saito brothers, Ashino and Honda versus Ishikawa and Cyrus. Paul, does anything there scream at you what's going to happen?
Well, to me, it's like the Saitos are going to beat like Miyahara and Nomura.
Yeah. And does that set up Takuya challenging on January 3rd?
That could is Takuya going to join Voodoo Murderers?
Well, no, but they're gonna.
That might be a thing where like they get upset, where like he gets upset at like Kento afterwards and then challenges him.
Yeah.
No, I could definitely see
thought.
that happening. Yeah.
Paul, what are the chances that, because there's no tiebreakers in all Japan tournaments, what do you see of like a tie and then an actual finals?
I could see that happen as well. So I would say in that case, I guess the most likely one, like, because to me, I think well, okay, here's the thing. Who do you think is winning?
I think it's Lee and Aoyagi, actually.
So who would you think are they facing? Like, in case of a tie, who are they facing in like the final then?
Miyahara and Nomura?
See, because I would maybe think it would be the Saitos.
Yeah, that's very possible too, actually, now that I think.
Because if that happens, I would say it's going to be Jake Lee and Yuma Aoyagi versus the Saitos.
Okay. And I think Lee and Aoyagi can beat the Saitos, and the Saitos lose nothing if they like are in the quote unquote finals.
Like, I would still say they win, but yeah, I think like the second likeliest team to me are like Jake Lee and Yuma Aoyagi. Yeah.
I think Ishikawa and Cyrus beat the tag champs to sort of set up a tag team title challenge like in like February or something.
Yeah, and I think Nagata and Anzai are beating Suwama and Kono on that final night.
Yeah, and that's sort of why I don't think... Okay, so one of the reasons why I don't think Suwama and Kono are winning, because they're going to have Nagata and Anzai beat the quote-unquote... would they have them beat the World Tag Team Champions? I don't think so.
No, and it would be weird if the Tag Team Champions are already eliminated on the final night.
Yes. And, yeah. And now, is this going to be Nagata and Anzai's only win?
I could definitely see that happening. I could maybe see them get a win over Doi and Arashi.
Yeah.
But then everything else, I think they're just going to lose. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's already a massive achievement for Anzai to be, like, in this tournament in the first place. Like, literal, like, weeks after he made his debut.
Yeah. And then, now, because every time I think that All Japan might do a tiebreaker finals in the tag league, they don't. What do you think of Lee and Aoyagi versus Koji Doi and Arashi basically being the finals with both teams in contention? to me seems like the most likeliest.
See, no, because I think the Saitos are winning, so I think Miyahara and Nomura versus the Saitos is the most likeliest. Like, I think it's going to tell us a lot when we actually find out the match order.
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't have a match order yet.
Yeah, so for me, like, that one is, like, if we don't do a tiebreaker, for me, the final one would be Miyahara and Nomura versus the Saitos.
So, but it just seems like they've done this whole, like, Yuma and Jake are teaming, and this has been sort of going on for a couple of months now. Mm-hmm. It just seems like they invested a lot into it.
But I also think they're a team that doesn't need the titles.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're big enough. Like, I think they're almost bigger than... Like, I know that the tag titles are really important in All Japan. But in a way, they both feel kind of above them.
Well, Jake needs something to do to rehab himself.
That's fine. And I would rather see, I think they can still team together as, like, the home army. Like, I think this is more maybe, like, a thing to, like, establish the home army, basically. Where I think it is also going to be a bit more free-flowing of people teaming with each other. And I would rather see, like, Yuma do, like, more single stuff, basically.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I could see them winning and then not winning the tag titles.
I think that's also an option yet. Like I said, like, to me, it's like basically I think the Saitos are winning, but then the second team, the team I think is second most likely to win are Lee and Aoyagi.
Okay. I guess if you do have the Saitos win and then they beat Ashino and Honda on January 2nd, you've sort of come full circle, and that is a good story arc, I suppose.
Yeah, that's basically my idea. Where, like, they came back, they lost the tag title match, they turned, they win the tag league, and then they win the titles as heels, and then they're gonna do with Voodoo Murderers whatever they're gonna do with Voodoo Murderers from there.
Do you think that like when the Saitos joined Voodoo Murderers, they were all like chummy with Suwama and, like, embracing and everything, and Suwama had that big grin on his face. Do you think it's the Saitos that are gonna, like, turf Suwama from Voodoo Murders, like a double choke slam or something?
I think that could definitely happen at some point, yeah, where, like, maybe he's gonna challenge them and then they beat him and then they basically kick him out of the faction afterwards. Because it definitely felt weird that they had, like, all of this, like, dissension in there, and then Taro's like, no, look, I brought in your large adult sons. Aren't you going to want to stay with us? And then it's just going to turn into a thing. It's like, no, actually, we just wanted to fuck with you and actually hit the brakes.
This is All Japan's version of Daniel Garcia in the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I guess. So Taro is the sports entertainer, I guess, and Suwama is the largest version of Bryan Danielson.
No, he's the Daniel Garcia, right? They tease the dissension.
Suwama is Daniel Garcia, okay.
Yeah. Because he teased the dissension, but then he came back into the fold in the end.
It's that young up-and-comer, Suwama.
Yes. So that is All Japan, and you can look out for those shows this coming weekend. And I will have reviews on voicesofwrestling.com of them. Mm-hmm. So before we move on to Pro Wrestling Noah, just a word from our sponsor, HelloFresh. And so what is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. It's time to cozy up and save money by cooking at home. Fall is the perfect time to experience the delicious tastes and unparalleled convenience of HelloFresh. And have a packed calendar. HelloFresh's quick and easy meals, like their 20-minute recipes or low prep and easy cleanup options, mean you'll spend less time in the kitchen and more time with your loved ones. And let me tell you, Paul, as someone that has been eating out a lot less because of food prices and someone that's also been very busy, something like HelloFresh is very attractive to me right now, actually.
Yes, absolutely. And as I said as well, like, it's getting fall now, the weather's getting worse, so, like, you don't really want to go outside or, like, even to, like, buy groceries because the weather is so disgusting. So I think having something like HelloFresh where you can just get delivered to your doorstep, so you can just watch the rain from the inside instead of getting wet.
Exactly. So you can go to hellofresh.com/VOW65, that's all one word, and use code VOW65, all one word, for 65% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/VOW65 and use code VOW65 for 65% off plus free shipping. All right, so we move over to Pro Wrestling Noah, who've had a number of shows since we last recorded. They had one of their usual double headers at Corrigan Hall. We can just sort of quickly go over those because not much happened on the undercard. On October 7th, they drew 625 fans. We had Kai Fujimura defeating Taishi Ozawa in 5 minutes and 34 seconds with the crab hold. Yoshinari Ogawa, Jack Morris, and Yasutaku Yano defeated Nosawa, Eita, and Super Crazy in 12 minutes and 30 seconds with a small package hold from Morris on Nosawa. Masato Tanaka, Masaki Mochizuki, and Kendo Kashin defeated Masakita Miya, Shuhei Taniguchi, and Deki Inaba. When Mochizuki pinned Taniguchi with a sliding DK. That was actually a pretty good match. Paul, did you watch the show? I forgot to ask.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't really that much on the undercard.
No.
Then Shuji Kondo, Tadasuke, and Hajime Ohara and Hiroki defeated Tsushi Katoge, Seki Yoshioka, Yohei, and Alejandro. This, I thought, was probably the best match of the lower undercard. It was just a fun junior sprint.
Yeah. No, this was, like I said, it was like a fun sprint. And like I said, I think the junior division, it often gets criticized, but I think it actually has taken leaps and bounds. And I think that will become more obvious once the big issue at the top of the card kind of maybe gets shoveled a little bit further down and isn't the focal point anymore.
Yeah. Hayato and Chris Ridgway defeated Ninja Mac and Extreme Tiger in 12 minutes and 58 seconds when Hayato used a Watagame on Tiger. I'm drawing a big blank on this match. I don't think it really stood out to me at all, even though, it's got Ridgway and Mac, who we'll talk about a little later in some of these other shows, who had some great matches. And then Keno, Masakatsu Funaki, Kazuhiko Nakajima, and Manabu Soya defeated Takashi Sugera, Satoshi Kojima, Naomichi Marufuji, and Kazushi Sakuraba in 22 minutes and 30 seconds with a vertical spike from Nakajima on Sugera. That was really good too.
Yeah. And that also led to a tag title challenge as well.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be an excellent match.
Oh, for sure.
And also the promo that Nakajima cut on Segura and Kojima there as well. Did you see some translations of that?
I didn't actually.
No? He was basically just calling them old and being like, no, I'm here to take the titles off of you. I'm so sick of old guys at the top of the card and I'm going to take you down. So clearly that will lead to Nakajima getting pinned in that match.
Pew pew, he's shooting.
Yeah. But also he keeps getting booked in title matches, so it's not punished.
I guess not, yeah. I was going to say at the top of the top of the card, but I think he was sort of cycled out of that for other reasons.
Yes, doesn't draw money.
Yeah, before the injuries happened.
And talking about not drawing money at the top of the card.
Kazuyuki Fujira and Hideki Suzuki defeated Kaito Kia Mia and Yoshiki Inamura in 16:37 with a beast bomb from Fujita on Inamura. I mean, I thought it was pretty good, but I don't think it was as good as some of those other matches that we highlighted on the card.
And I'm still, I don't know, Kaito looks like he's crying when he's facing off of Fujita. It's so fucking weird. I don't know what is this supposed to be? Is that really how you want to portray your new champion? I don't even think that that's a fucking Noah that he told him to do that. That's just how Kaito is. And I'm dude, you're supposed to be the ace of the promotion. You can't just stand there and cower from Kaz Fujita.
Yeah, well,
you're
we'll
not
talk
a young
about
boy.
That some more in a second. So we go to the next day on the 8th. To 689 fans, which that's one of Noah's better numbers in Korakuen.
It's the best number in Korakuen actually this year.
Wow. So that's sort of interesting, I thought. Ninja Mac confirmed draw
Yeah.
is what we could take away from that.
Yeah, I mean, they fucking took the Kurikan numbers for no while. Just like, I mean, they are what they are. Should they be better just based on, like, I know that they don't give Kurikan anything. Like, that's why these shows don't draw, because they don't put any big matches on them. But I think they should draw better just based on the, like, advertising power they have through a beamer. Right. But I mean, at this point, the shows are what they are. They're clearly not interested in changing their strategy. So it's just like, this is what they are, and they're not going to change.
I don't think they need to change this Korkin specific strategy. I think if the overall strategy of running the bigger buildings catches on and people are into it, then the Korkins will go up.
Yes. Yeah. No. Like, definitely. Like, so we're just going to see if that strategy actually works out.
Right. And so in the opening match, Muhammad Yone defeated Taishi Ozawa with a lariat in 7 minutes and 58 seconds. I thought actually this was a fun little opener. Ozawa's impressed so far, I think.
Yeah.
He's no Yuma Anzai, but there's something, they got something with him, I think.
Yes.
Especially
because
he moves around.
wrestles so differently.
Yep. And then Nosawa, Eita, and Super Crazy defeated Shuji Kondo, Hajime Ohara, and Hiroki in 11 minutes and 28 seconds with a Liger Bomb from Crazy on Ohara. Extreme Tiger defeated Alejandro in 7 minutes with a reverse face bomb. I thought this was a little fun, like high-speed lucha influence match.
Yeah. No, it was definitely one of the better Extreme Tiger matches on this kind of run.
Yep. I think they should be pushing Alejandro more.
Yeah.
And then Yoshinari Ogawa, Chris Fujire, and Yasutaku Yano defeated Seki Yoshioka, Yohei, and Kai Fujimura in 16 minutes and 53 seconds with an ankle hold from Ridgeway on Yohei. I thought this was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the better kind of six-man junior combinations they can put together. And it really showed in the match.
For sure. And Yano doesn't seem to have been missing too much of a beat since he's returned from injury, which is good to see.
Yeah,
I really like him.
Yeah, I really like him too. Like, there is an obvious ceiling with him because he's so small. But I think he has, like, he can be like a really, like, I don't think he's ever going to be the ace of the junior division, but I think he can be an important cornerstone of it for, like, years.
For sure. And then Keno, Katsuhiko Nakajima, and Manabu Soya defeated Masakita Miya, Daiki Inaba, and Yoshiki Inamura in 14 minutes and 53 seconds with the PFS from Keno on Inaba. Again, much like many six-man tags on these Korkin, very solid, very good, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tadasuke defeated Atsushi Katoge in 11 minutes and 21 seconds with the Jidanda Lariat, building up to the GHC Junior Tag Title match coming up. I thought this was pretty good as well. Of course, Tadasuke is a most improved guy, definitely.
Yes, he definitely is for me.
And then Takashi Sugiura, Satoshi Kojima, and Naomichi Marufuji defeated Masato Tanaka, Masaki Mochizuki, and Kendo Kashin when Kojima used a Western Lariat on Mochizuki. God, Kendo Kashin can't even do the job to Kojima.
He's not going to book himself to take the fall, brother.
No. It was fine.
Yeah. It's really all you can say about this one. It was, I don't know, yeah, it was just a match that was there, that existed.
Yeah. Hayato and Jack Morris defeated Kaito Kia Mia and Ninja Mac in 15 minutes and 10 seconds with Hayato used like a cutback cradle on Mac, which I thought this was a lot of fun, even, with the Hayato factor. But it was just these three young prospects really getting to show their stuff, and I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the classical one where, like, all the champions and challengers face off. Oh, wait, no, that's... Jack Morris is not the challenger for the heavyweight title. Oh, that's weird. But, yeah, I think that would have actually made the match even better if, like, Morris had been a challenger. But it's weird that they booked it this way. But I think... regardless, yeah, it was a pretty fun match, and does this result make it more likely that Mac beats Hayato?
No, because we'll get... Oh, yes, it does. I think so. I mean, if they don't, it's so stupid. I can't...
I mean, what else are you going to do with Hayato? Look, he's still going to sell the shirts to, like, the emo girls, like, regardless. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean... You've got Ninja Mac now, so Like, strike while the iron's hot, because a year from now, if he has a big run in Noah, he probably won't stick around, I should say.
No, like he's gonna get hired by like a big American promotion, or like New Japan is gonna like reach out to bring him in.
Yeah, for sure. And then so we go on to October 16th, Noah Demolition Stage 2022 in Fukuoka. Also, Keiji Muto's last match in Fukuoka at the Fukuoka International Center, drawing 1,195 fans, which I would say is a slight disappointment because it's Muto's last match there, because last year they drew like 12 something on Kaito versus Muto for the GHC title.
Yeah, but I mean, you also didn't have like a single, like it is, but really like the only thing on this card that is like a draw is basically just the Keiji Muto final match.
Yeah,
because there was not a single title match on this.
No. I don't know. I thought that would be a bigger draw. That match alone.
I think we're kind of seeing what the limit is of just draw. Like the Keiji Muto like thing is a draw, but I think there is a limit to it, and you still need to put other things on the card to like supplement it.
This is no Antonio Inoki retirement countdown that had every match draw.
Yes, no. It's. I mean, he's still. I mean, at least he's not getting the pin. At least, like when he's winning, like here, he's not like the one actually getting the fall. So.
Yeah, for sure. So the opening match is Paul. Sorry, how much of the show did you see?
I saw like I still need to go back and watch Nakajima versus Ridgeway, and I did watch it from the elimination match.
Okay. So we'll just go quickly. Manabu Soya versus Taishi Ozawa, 5 minutes, 55 seconds. The body slam, I thought this was really good. I like the chemistry between Soya and Ozawa. They've had a couple matches now. Muhammad Yone and Akitoshi Saito defeated Masa Kitamiya and Shuhei Taniguchi in 11 minutes and 20 seconds with the muscle buster from Yone on Taniguchi. Actually kind of fun, I thought, for what it was in placement on the card. Nosawa, Eita Super Crazy, defeated Yoshinari Ogawa, Yasutaku Yano, and Kai Fujimura in 13 minutes and 19 seconds with the Imperial Uno from Aita on Yano. This was actually better than I thought. And they sort of tried to give like the young guys a lot of shine, and then Ogawa just like scowled at Peros. But it was fun. And then after the match,
I heard there was a lot of post-match stuff here.
Yeah. Nosawa announced his retirement.
What a worker, like getting to retire in the Tokyo Dome, just piggybacking off of the Muto retirement show.
Well, I'm skeptical of how legit this is retirement, of course.
Yeah, we'll see. But also we got the handshake between Eita and Ogawa.
Oh, yes, that's right. Which I think, what does that mean? I mean, honestly, that would be a kind of cool tag team.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't watched this yet, so I've really only seen like the clips that were uploaded on Twitter. But yeah, it definitely seems like Ogawa and Eita are a team now, and Eita has left Paros, I guess.
Was that official?
Well, no, but just looking at the reaction of like Nosawa and Super Crazy at ringside, seems to me like he's done with them. So I guess he's joining Stinger then.
Maybe. Well, Peros has had some of its members mysteriously disappear.
Yeah, so is Stinger going to invade Dragon Gate next? I mean, to be fair, Ogawa and Dragon Gate actually would rule.
Yes.
But I also think Case Low would have a stroke if Hayato appears in Dragon Gate.
Well, I can't blame him. And then next up after that, Paul, you got to go back and watch this match. Katsuhiko Nakajima defeated Chris Ridgeway in 13 minutes and 3 seconds with the vertical spike. This was great. I highly recommend it. Not match of the year level, but really good match. They kicked the shit out of each other, which is interesting because sometimes Nakajima doesn't quite go quite as hard on the foreigners, but I think, Ridgeway is a pretty serious, like, legit tough wrestler, and so he probably wanted to have a stiff-ass match with Nakajima anyway.
He probably told him, nah, it's fine, just lay it in.
Yeah. So they like had a sequence where they just kicked each other in the chest with the high kicks for like a minute or two. Honestly, I think Chris Ridgeway and I wonder if this is happening because of Ogawa and Ada now. They should move him up to heavyweight.
Actually, yeah.
He
probably
looked
would be
quite a
fine,
bit bigger than Nakajima in this match.
Let me just take a look.
Like I didn't realize how much bigger than Nakajima he was. I know Nakajima's not big, but it really stood out there in this.
Yeah, he's 175 and 79 kilograms. So that fits right in, like, with like some of the smaller heavyweights in Noah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could do that. I actually hadn't even thought of that possibility, but yeah, that actually would be really good. I think it would be an excellent addition to the heavyweight division.
If a certain Timothy Thatcher doesn't return, he'd also be a good addition to Segura Gun, I think, actually.
Yeah. Hideki Suzuki and Chris Ridgway would also be a really fun team, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought about that too, yeah.
We have Timothy Thatcher at home. It's actually British Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, go out and watch this match. Next up, we had Kazuyuki Fujira, Takashi Sugiura, and Masato Tanaka defeating Kaito Kia Mia, Daiki Inabe, and Yoshiki Inamura in 16 minutes and 1 second with a power beast bomb from Fujita on Kiyomiya. The match was actually pretty good, I thought, for the most part. But, of course, you had Fujita winning with the power bomb. And then after the match, he tried to hug Kiyomiya.
Sure. Why not?
This whole storyline is so bizarre with Fujita acting so weird. I don't know.
You think he's winning?
No, actually, I will go on my big spiel about that when we preview the show. I think Kaito's retaining, and I will make some rather wild claims about it too. And then next up, we had an elimination match at Tsushi Katoge, Seki Yoshioka, and Yohei, and Alejandro defeated Shuji Kondo, Tadasuke, Hajime Ohara, and Hiroki in 20 minutes and 26 seconds. And it basically came down to Katoge defeating Hiroki after a horizontal cradle after Hiroki hit him with a shit ton of offense. But then Katoge just rolled him up and won, which was, I thought, interesting way to sort of build up for their tag title match with Katoge being the champion, but whatever. But it was fun. Yeah.
I actually really like this.
All time.
I always like when Japanese promotions do these elimination matches. I think they're always they find a way to make them really fun and interesting.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And then Pro Wrestling Love Forever, ex Fukuoka Final Trans Magic, Keiji Muto, Satoshi Kojima, and Ninja Mac defeated Naomichi Marufuji, Jack Morris, and Hayata in 14 minutes and 57 seconds with the Ninja Bomb from Mac on Hayata. Imagine listing this match to someone 18 months ago.
Yeah, they're gonna call it crazy. A, what do you mean it's Keiji Muto's final match in Fukuoka? And then also B, why is he teaming with Ninja Mac? And who is Jack Morris?
I actually really like this actually for what it was.
Yeah.
Muto seems to love Ninja Mac too.
Yeah, everyone in Noah loves Ninja Mac basically.
And basically Muto hit the Shining Wizard to set up that Ninja Bomb.
Yeah.
Right. And that's no mistake. I mean, that's the sort of I think a vote of confidence in Ninja Mac.
He put over Ninja Mac more than he ever has put over Kiyomiya.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it was a nice little match on the countdown. But, I mean, I guess it wasn't the most, effort put into a Muto retirement match either, which I think could be some of the drawing issues, too.
I mean, there's no, special, tie to, Muto's history here.
Other than teaming with Kojima.
I mean, to be fair, it's also, it's one of the biggest cities, but it's also, it's Fukuoka. Kind of get why they, half this one a little bit.
Well, it's the largest city in Kyushu, is the island, right?
Yeah. But again,
oh, well.
I think generally in the rankings of Japan, it's not
Yeah, you got Tokyo, Osaka, Yokohama.
Exactly. It's not in that
Saitama,
Kanto
Nagoya.
to. It's not in that Kanto to.
I think even Sendai and Sapporo would rank ahead of it too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Sapporo definitely.
Sapporo definitely, and then obviously everything that is Nagoya, Osaka, all of those would rank above that. So I kind of get why they were like, this is his last match in Fukuoka, but we also don't really want to like burn anything that we want to like draw on and like the real major cities with.
Right. And then her main event contested under what martial arts rules did they say?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like
with
that.
what it was like TKO, submission, or KO. And then they had yellow cards and red cards.
That's what they're going to use for the title match as well.
Oh, okay. So Kazushi Sakuraba and Hideki Suzuki defeated Keno and Masakatsu Funaki in 25-36 with Scorpion leg lock on Sakuraba, from Sakuraba on Funaki. I think this was on a little too long. There was some good stuff in it, but yeah, this didn't need to go 25 minutes.
Yeah, no. This could have been really entertaining, if they had cut it down like significantly. Like 10 minutes too much, I would definitely say, but I would maybe say even like, sure. I don't know. If it had been 10 minutes, it would have been fine. So it might even be that it's like an entire like 15 minutes too much here. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think there is a potential for Funaki Sakuraba to be like a fun match under these kinds of rules, but I don't know. I don't give a shit who wins that match.
I thought Sakuraba was going to win, but I think now it's going to be Funaki.
I mean...
Is Funaki going to drop 2 straight matches?
Is he going to drop that title at some point? But then even if he dropped it to Sakuraba, then it's on Sakuraba. So it's like, I don't know, that doesn't excite me either.
No, and it's strange. Beating Sakuraba doesn't mean as much as you'd think it would if you go back like 20 years.
I mean, it also doesn't mean anything because it's fucking Masakatsu Funaki. It's not like we know who he is. Like that's not gonna change. Like it's literally pointless.
I mean if Sakuraba wins the national title and then drops it to someone else.
Oh, that's what you mean. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. And
Funaki's been more protected than Sakuraba has too.
Yeah, and I would almost say like, as bad as the reign has been, it's also gone on for a long time. So I think it's better if like someone else ends this like long title reign and not Sakuraba.
Exactly.
Because at least you ended like a however many long months title reign if you take the title off of him. And again, Sakuraba doesn't benefit from that.
Yeah. So again, that was Demolition Stage 2022 in Fukuoka. I would say a good show.
Yeah. It's kind of forgettable. Like, and well, to be fair, from what I've seen, but it definitely was fun.
Watch Nakajima versus Ridgeway. That was the match of the night for me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like that's definitely on my list. Like I'm gonna go back and watch that one for sure.
Yeah. And then we have the full card for the Ariake Triumph: The Return of Pro Wrestling Love Forever 3 Triumph on October 30th. It will be on Abima as well as I assume a Wrestle Universe, probably with English commentary. Mm-hmm. And so it's listed at match 0, so it might be a dark match. But Kai Fujimura versus Taishi Ozawa, and then Shuhei Taniguchi, Alejandro, and Extreme Tiger versus Manabu Soya, Shuji Kondo, and Hajime Ohara. Daiki Inaba and Yohei versus Jack Morris, and Dante Leon is back.
That's a fucking fire pro random team. Both of those.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Can't believe they brought back Pink Eye Boy.
I don't know. I guess they liked him. Mm-hmm. Or everyone loves Ninja Max so much they will do whatever he asks.
Yeah, sure. I know. And Ninja Max needs better friends.
Yoshinari Ogawa, Chris Ridgway, and Yasutaku Iano versus Nosawa, Eita, and Super Crazy. I assume there's going to be an angle involving this match.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to talk about that Nosawa poster that he tweeted.
Oh God, yes. for his indie show.
Yeah. So Tokyo Gurentai lives again.
One last time, and, one final ride.
Yeah. And who's on the poster? Takamura, Dick Togo, Masada, Minoru Fujita.
Yeah.
There's someone else now. I can't remember who it was, I think. But
let's see if I can find it. Okay, no, I can find it right now.
It's the greasiest poster.
It's the greasiest posters you've ever seen. Like, yeah, you actually need to take a shower after you just looked at that poster, basically.
Yeah. I'm curious, though, given the old Tokyo Gurentai show, if Minoru Suzuki doesn't pop up on it.
Well, actually, there's someone
He
else
used to
that
be.
should pop up on the final Tokyo Guruntai show ever.
Who?
Mil Mascaras.
Oh yes, of course. Who's a Tokyo Guruntai alumni?
Yeah, he's pretty much the ace of the promotion. He's won every single match there, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, how old is he at this point? Well, he's 80.
80
Yes,
now.
perfect. Fly him there. He definitely wants to take a fucking...
That doesn't stop great Kojika.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Kojika doesn't need to fly to Japan on like an 11-hour
No.
flight, which at 80 years old is it's rough. But is he still? No. Okay. Well, his last match was in 2019, so I think he might have actually hung it up now.
Yeah, he probably would have wrestled if there wasn't a pandemic, but it wouldn't shock me
Yeah.
if he's just like, I'm done now.
Yeah, my last one was even like in March 2019. So,
Yeah.
but he won his last match. So
Of course he did.
I'm actually trying to look. When is the last time he was even on the losing side of a match? He had a fucking IWA singles title match with Nosawa at Guruntai in 2016. Yeah, the last time he was even on... The last time... Okay, that was by DQ, so that doesn't even count. That was in 2016. He was on the losing side for... But that was by DQ. And then otherwise, he has not lost for a long time. I don't need like this would take too long now.
33 years, I would believe you.
This is like I'm in like 2011 now, and I still haven't found anything. So at this point, it's gonna
Yeah.
take way too long until I can even find it.
Well, it's been over a decade.
Yes, way over a decade.
And then so after that, we have Hideki Suzuki and El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Versus Masato Tanaka and Masa Kitamiya. That could actually be pretty good. And for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title, Atsushi Katoge and Seki Yoshioka versus Tadasuke and Hiroki.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
They certainly spent their time building up to it. And then GHC Junior Heavyweight title, Hayato versus Ninja Mac.
Just real quick,
I think-
just one last time, bring it back to Mil Mascaras, because now I wanted to look at the overall statistics. So he has had 1,565 matches. How many of those were losses?
7.
It's not that insane. It's 215.
Oh, still, that's wild.
Yeah, he's won 80.7% of his matches.
Even Hogan wouldn't have
No.
that. So, anyway, with Hayato and Ninja Mac, I think everyone knows how we both feel about this and who
Yeah,
needs to win
no,
this
I think
match.
it's really obvious he needs to win this.
Yep. And then the national title, I guess, contested under karate rules. Masakatsu Funaki versus Sakuraba, and we just talked about that a whole lot. I think Funaki retains. Paul, gun to your head.
Funaki
Who
wins,
wins that match?
why not?
Yeah. And then the GHC tag team title, Takashi Sugera and Satoshi Kojima, the champions versus Keno and Katsuhiko Nakajima, and this should be great.
Yeah.
I think it could be match of the show, actually.
I think it has a very decent chance. I think it kind of depends how Kaito versus Fujita goes. Like, under the right circumstances, that could be excellent as well. But I think this one is, like, the safer bet for, like, match of the show.
Yep, for sure.
But who do you think is going to win?
I don't know. I kind of want Sugera and Kojima to retain.
Yeah.
Strange as that
Yeah.
sounds. I like where it's going. I don't
No,
know.
I do love Keno
But I
and
could see Keno and
Nakajima.
Nakajima.
I do love them as a
They could
team,
win.
but I think there's still more
Yeah.
juice with Segura and Kojima.
For sure. And then the semi-main event, Pro Wrestling Love Forever 3 Triumph, Keiji Muto, Naomichi Marufuji, and Yoshiki Inamura versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, Togi Makabe, and Tomoaki Honma. I guess this is being sold as the last Tanahashi versus Muto match. So I guess he's maybe not going to be in the actual retirement match, but you never know.
Would be weird if he
anything
wasn't,
past these people.
in a way.
Yeah.
Because just how like instrumental like Muto was for like Tanahashi's early career.
For sure. Now, is Inamura getting pinned by a high fly flow, or is Hanma eating a pin here?
I think those are really the only two options. I would say that Inamura's eating a high fly flow to me is the most likely outcome here.
Huh. Yeah, I could see that.
But I mean, maybe this is actually...
It's Hanma, though.
Yeah, it is. But he also didn't take the fall in GLEAT as well.
That's true. But it's also, I think Keiji Muto could get Tomoaki Onma to do a job
absolutely.
easier than Great could.
Absolutely.
So I'm sort of leaning towards Muto's team, but it wouldn't shock me other way.
I mean, here's the thing, actually. I would say it's actually maybe more likely that Tanahashi will be in the retirement match if he's not on the winning side of this match.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, for sure.
So if Honma is the one eating the pin here, then I think it's more likely that Tanahashi is going to be in the final match. Whereas if he just basically beats Muto's team here, he's not going to beat Muto, but he's going to beat Muto's team. Then I think, that is kind of the final face-off between them ever.
Honestly, I'm sort of looking forward towards some Inamura versus Tanahashi.
Oh yeah, that actually could be kind of Inamura and Makabe, low-key. I mean, Makabe is not going to be motivated, but at least
he's not going to take any of Inamura's moves.
In theory, it could be a fun matchup, but it's not going to be in actual real life.
And then in the main event for the GHC heavyweight title, Kaito Kia Mia versus Kazuyuki Fujira. So yes, I do think Kiyomiya is winning because everything they've told up to this point suggests Kiyomiya winning. If Fujita wins, Kiyomiya's done. He might as well go to report to Orlando to the Performance Center because there's a better chance of being a star in WWE than he does in Noah at that point. I think Suwama and Kono have a better chance of winning the tag titles than Kiyomiya losing to Fujita. I think no. I'm not going to say I think Tako Omori has a better chance of beating.
No, I think that's going a bit far.
I think there's a lot of other. I don't know. It's mind-numbingly stupid, and I don't understand. I don't see how Kiyomiya recovers from this. I don't. That's the final nail in the coffin as far as I'm concerned.
It absolutely would be. But again, it's also the thing where Fujita never actually lost the title. He got COVID, and so, and we're still not out of the possibility of them doing that. Keiji Muto does something with the title during his retirement tour.
Yeah, I guess.
And they did originally have that planned as Fujita versus Muto, basically.
Yep.
So if that's still in some ways in the cards, then I think that's the best chance that Fujita wins here. And I fully agree with you that ruins Kaito. That's basically he's done after that.
There's no coming back. It's worse than even what Muto has done.
It is. There's no coming back from it, but I'm not sure that they realize that.
Are they that dumb? I don't know. That's really dumb.
It is. It would be incredibly stupid if this is really all about just using these old guys to build up the next generation.
And then why couldn't have Fujita just beaten Keno for the title?
I mean, he could have, but maybe they felt that they needed to put the title on Kaito with all of the momentum, coming off of beating Muto and then him winning the N1, and then I don't know. I agree it would be completely stupid. I also would say it is most likely that Kaito is going to retain. I'm not saying that it is the most likely outcome here is Fujita winning, but I'm also not going to put it beyond the realm of possibility. And like I said, I fully agree with you that if they do it, it's the dumbest move possible, and it really is kind of just ruins Kaito Kia Mia forever.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
So then we move on. So that's Pro Wrestling Noah. We have a special bonus show that we're going to talk about, Paul, because you were really enthusiastic about it.
Yes, this is a great show. This is a great podcast now. I mean, it's always been a great podcast, but this is now also a great podcast.
Yes. I guess we probably should have covered Great before because I've been watching most of their shows, but I guess we never got around to it. But we're going to do it now. Yeah. Great version X in Korakuen Hall on October 9th. 1,025 fans was their biggest Korakuen number yet. So that's a good sign.
Yes, as long as it's not paper.
Yes. I don't know. I think a lot of the fans there seem to be really into the product.
Yes.
They got merch on and everything.
Yeah. I mean, papering also sometimes can also just lead to people being actually, I like this and I'm going to come back and actually pay next time.
Yeah. For sure. So we open up with a Ludette UWF rules match, and you have to say Ludette UWF. I don't know if you ever saw that, but like I think someone on the Great roster just called it a UWF rule match, and then like the Great account was like, nope, it's
It's legit UWF because that's what they own the trademark to. They don't own the trademark to UWF.
Yeah.
That's great.
Minoru Tanaka defeated Kotaro Nasu, who I have no idea who that is, actually. I don't think I've ever seen him before. In 4 minutes and 15 seconds with a Minoru special. Good opener, but way too short.
Yeah. But I mean, it was also the opener. I think Tanaka also looked good here. Like, I think it was just like a nice, like, get in, get out. And that's kind of what I like about, like, the UWF kind of matches where, like, it's believable if they end this quickly.
Yeah. And then the next Lidet UWF rules match, Takanori Ito and Yu Izuka went to a draw against Hikaru Sato and Hideki Shrek Sakine in 20 minutes. I watched this recently. It was a few days after the show. I saw some people say that this went like dragged, but I thought this was actually pretty good.
I really like this as well. I think, like, I'm not a big fan of Shrek, although I've seen him have a great match and hard hit.
You know what my beef with Shrek is?
What is it?
Well, he may have caused Naoya Nomura's injury.
Oh, yeah, true.
Now, something like that's probably a build-up, but he's not exactly a good trained wrestler.
He's not.
And he was having he had a grappling match against Nomura, and that was Nomura's last match for over 2 years. So that's my beef with him.
No, but I actually have seen him have a great singles match with Sato in Hard Hit. That was, to be fair though, that was literal, like, I think a day or two after Aoki's death. And both of them were really close with him. So I think that was actually like them just getting their frustrations out by just absolutely beating the shit out of each other.
For sure.
Like, because Shrek actually gave a post-match promo where he, like, started crying. But that's literally, like... And this has been the best match I have seen him in since that match, basically. So, to make a long story short, I actually also really like this one as well. I can see why people, if you're not into the style, where you think this might have dragged, but like I like the style, so I thought this was like really good. I thought everyone like worked really well to the style, and obviously Sato is always really good when he like gets to go in there and can do like this kind of like UWF style match. So, and he delivered here as well.
Here's my critique. We are now 15 months into GLEAT from their first official show. You got to start giving these young guys wins instead of just draws and losses. But other than that, it was a good match.
I mean, you do get wins if you're in bulk orchestra, but everyone else doesn't. Yeah.
And then Lidet UWF rules. Mika Iwata of Sendai Girls and Tomoka Inaba of Just Tap Out defeated Michiko Miyagi and Maya Fukuda in 9 minutes and 45 seconds with a TKO. Iwata knocked out Fukuda with a high kick, which is funny because Iwata does a lot of jobs in Sendai Girls, but she gets the win here. Poor Maya, she is even ranked lower than Miyagi is.
Well, to be fair, Maya is also still like pretty new.
Oh yeah.
And it's really the story they played up here as well, where she was like the like rookie that also was kind of like out of her depth, basically.
But they've had her just take beatings in all of her matches, like against Chihiro, Hashimoto, and everything. I guess so. That result isn't surprising. I thought it was actually pretty good, though.
I actually liked this one as well. Like, it was really hard hitting. I mean, I mean, it was a Joshi like UWF rules match. Like Joshi wrestlers already are always just willing to just beat the shit out of each other, but then you put them into like this type of rule set, and it's just gonna go even harder. So yeah, I thought this was really good.
Will he or won't he sign with a major company? Bandito and Commander then defeated Kaz Hayashi and Soma Watanabe in 9 minutes and 49 seconds with the Commander style 450 splash from Commander on Watanabe. Again, I thought Kaz, when I watched this, I didn't know who was going to take the fall, and I thought Kaz was just going to put them over, but once again, the young guy does the job to the outsiders. But this was a lot of fun, and I think Commander and Bandito got over big.
I mean, Commander is kind of the new hot luchador, basically, who does crazy shit. Like, he's basically like Vikingo from like 3-4 years ago, but somehow he's even more insane than him. His body control is just absolutely out of this world. Like, that rope walk that he does is just like shouldn't be physically possible the way he does it. Like, he seems to actually defy like the laws of physics at times.
For sure. And I forgot to write it down, but they announced some more foreigners coming in, and the only one I remember is Luigi Primo.
It's a Luigi Primo.
So great, quickly heading in a DDT style direction.
Is he gonna bring? Booking. I mean, obviously he's gonna do the pizza dough thing, like, because why else would you bring him in?
Yeah.
But it is kind of like a random grab bag of foreigners otherwise. Like, I also don't remember all of the names. There was definitely, wasn't there Arez, I think, was there as well?
Yes, that should be good. I like Arez a lot.
Arez was in there. Something, I forgot his name. Yutani? I think Yutani, was it?
Yuda or Yuma?
No, maybe. I don't remember his name. Then there was like other Americans as well, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. I don't think Bandito will probably be available to GLEAT in the near future.
I mean, it depends if he signs or not.
I think he's going to sign with AEW probably. Does Commander get snatched by someone else, though, in Japan?
I mean, if I'm Noah, I'm bringing in Commander. I see this, and I'm putting Commander versus Ninja Mac is basically what I would do if I was Noah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I guess, because New Japan won't take luchadors unless they're CMLL.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Basically, generally. Yeah. So, I guess Noah could take him, or DDT even. So you never know, right? I just don't think GLEAT could hold on to any breakout foreigners for very long.
No, probably not. But I mean, we'll see. For now, It's always interesting who actually gets over out of like the foreigners, because sometimes it's not the one that you expect to get over.
Right. Yeah, Luigi Primo is probably going to end up getting over and becoming the foreign ace, basically, with our luck or my luck. I don't like meme wrestlers in general, so.
I don't know. Like, it's really weird to bring him into GLEAT and not DDT.
I'm convinced that Shima saw it and loved it, and that's why he's or that's at least my headcanon. I
guess so.
Shima saw Luigi Primo and was like, I need to get that guy.
And I mean, I fully expect that all of the foreigner bookings are all done by Shima.
Yeah.
I think that's a very safe assumption.
Yeah, for sure. And then next up, we had Jake Lee and Czech Shimatani defeating Shima and Jun Tancho in 12 minutes and 14 seconds with the D4C from Lee on Tancho. I thought this was good. I just can't remember anything Jake Lee did in it.
To be fair, here's the thing, though. Like, that's why I actually kind of liked Jake Lee in this. Because he was basically just a base. Like, he actually showed that he can actually... Because he's in All Japan, so we never really get to see him, like, base for wrestlers. Because he just wrestles, like, a bunch of big guys all the time. So him actually being in here and being with, like, a few more, like, high-speed guys, like, he actually could show that he's actually, like, an excellent base for, like, flying wrestlers. So... And he also seemed, like, pretty motivated. So I think, like, if he actually wants to, like, wrestle more, like, outside of All Japan, I think GLEAT actually would be, like, the best spot for him to do that, because he can, like, really wrestle, like, a very different style than he does normally.
Okay. Well, I don't know. He just didn't stand out to me in this. I don't know. I thought it was actually good, though, because I thought Tancho and Shimatani were great.
See?
And
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, that's the thing about a good base. You don't notice that they're a good base unless you look for it.
Yeah. And then so next up, this was billed as a great open challenge match. Kaito Ishida defeated Tetsuya Izuchi in 17 minutes and 36 seconds with the half tiger suplex hold. This was great.
So awesome. This was so good. This is an act. This is like a full on like match of the year contender for me. And not just like match of the year contender. This is like right now is like pretty high up on that list as well.
I mean, Ishida really took it to Izuchi too.
Both of them took it to each other. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, Izuchi as well just started off like hot, just like immediately just stomping down on Ishida. Like, and I think they have something here with Izuchi. Like, I know he took the loss here, but I think they have something with him.
Yeah.
His look right now is a little bit of a Okada cosplay look, to be quite honest. But I think he has a presence. Like, I think he's someone that they could, like, if they build him up, like, he's someone that could be, like, potentially be, like, a top guy in the promotion.
I think they like him, even though he does jobs. Yeah. He does jobs to big named outsiders, right? Because they put him against Miyahara.
Yeah. And Ishida obviously is going to get, like, a rocket push, so I'm not upset that, like, Izuchi didn't get the win here. So I think this is also, like, this is obviously not going to be the last match between these two. Like, I actually expect that the next time these two face off against each other, it's going to be a title match.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you think Ishida's beating
Yeah, I think Ishida's beating Lindemann.
And do you think that gives GLEAT an even more of a we're at Dragon Gate split than they had before feel to it? And do you think that's good or bad?
I mean, that just
matter?
is what they are, isn't it? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And maybe, but also, like, I think Ishida is also, like, I think putting the title on Ishida is also striking while the iron is hot. I think Lindemann has been a good champion, but I think right now is also a good time to end his reign as well. And I think putting it on the big, like, I mean, it's also like a jump, basically, right? Because Ishida jumped directly from Dragon Gate to GLEAT.
Yeah.
So I think capitalizing while the iron is hot, I think, is also the right decision.
Whereas Strong Hearts went through how many promotions before they ended up?
Yeah,
in
exactly. Like, they went for the entirety of Japan until the end. They found it great, yeah.
And then they were in AEW until the pandemic. And then...
They had a run in Big Japan, they had a run in Noah, they had a run in, no, they didn't have a run in Noah. That's, like, the one promotion they didn't go to. But, like, All Japan, like, everyone except for Noah, and, then they found GLEAT. And they also have a run in New Japan after that, so...
Yeah, although that seems to have cooled off. Or at least the great guys in New Japan. Although the New Japan guys still will come to GLEAT, as we will see in a moment. And then next up, we had... T-Hawk, Al Lindemann, and Issei Onitsuka defeating Tomoaki Honma, Shigehiro Irie, and Kazuma Sakamoto in 1601 with the Cerberus from T-Hawk on Irie. Another good match, I thought. And
some storyline development of, like, a bit of, like, dissension, basically, within Strong Hearts. With Irie A being on the other team, but also then kind of, like, the finish was... How did the finish go again? It was basically who accidentally hit Irie? Like, someone accidentally hit Irie, and then T-Hawk hit Irie for the pin with the Cerberus.
I can't even remember now.
There was some sort of miscommunication spot that led to Irie getting pinned.
Yeah.
And then afterwards they were basically like, no, we're all still friends. But I think there is definitely some dissension there with T-Hawk and the rest of Strong Hearts.
Yeah.
Which I think is the best move for T-Hawk's career at this point, where he might just be better to, like, split off from Strong Hearts and
I think so.
Do his own thing.
He's the one that seems to have been going nowhere. And then also I saw on Twitter, Kazuma is taking some time off, I think because of injury, although the translation was not great. He's definitely taking time off. I just don't know.
Yeah, which is a shame because he has been really good.
With the extent. Yeah. So I don't know. I assume Bulk Orchestra will sort of stay together, though, because they seem to be the biggest unit in the company.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, I mean, they also still have the tag titles, so. Yeah.
And then in the main event, no DQ match, Jun Kasai and Masashi Takeda defeated Ryuichi Kawakami and Hayato Tamura in 21-21 with the cross-arm stimulation from Kasai on Kawakami. Paul, I am of two minds of this. It started off as your normal hardcore match with lots of blood and everything. And then I thought the last few minutes were really great. But I don't know how I feel about this kind of match in GLEAT, honestly.
To be quite...
I don't know. That's the feeling I
mean,
got.
I also really like kind of the final minutes
I know
of
a
the
lot
match.
of people who liked it a lot, though.
I was a little bit disappointed with the early portion of the match, simply because people sold that as like a hardcore match, and it didn't go far enough for me. That was my issue with it.
Oh,
yes.
really? Are you expecting light
I'm a deathmatch guy. I was like, oh, this is fucking Kasai and Takeda. And I'm just gonna grab some light. Like, we're gonna see people go into like a bed of light tubes and gonna see a lot more blood than we did.
Early on, it was just like the Freedoms team stomping them and cutting them.
Yes.
It wasn't like...
I mean, they were really dominant for a good chunk of the match until like the final minutes when it was a bit more of a back and forth. And I actually liked that part a lot more.
Oh, yeah. The final few minutes were great. And I'm not anti-deathmatch, but I just didn't think that fits into what great is.
Now, to be fair, one of the reasons why I liked this show so much was because it was such a like buffet of wrestling. Because he pretty much had like every single style of wrestling like being represented on the show, including like hardcore deathmatch style. So I think if you're doing a show like that, I think it is fine to have a deathmatch like this. But overall, I don't think it would fit in great, but I definitely think it's fine if you do it like this as like a special attraction, basically.
Okay. Yeah, although I'm actually not against bringing back Takeda and putting him in a Ledet.
Oh God, yeah, no,
match,
absolutely.
Actually.
Or if you actually do like a combination of the two, you do like a UWF style hardcore match where you just... No, it's a UWF match but with light tubes.
I don't know. Okay. You'd have to like do the rules in such a way that it makes sense, because I feel like hardcore and then the main gist of the UWF style would sort of come into conflict.
You just put the light tube. You just basically replace the ropes with light tubes and then do it that way.
Oh, okay. Oh, and so instead of losing points, you just run out of rope breaks because the light tubes are all destroyed.
And then you basically do grappling on a floor covered in glass.
Okay. This is you should email Jun Kasai right now. And
I'm gonna email Takeda because he probably would be all over that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would say if something like that happened, it would be more likely to actually be tried in Freedoms first before it goes anywhere else.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so that's great. But it was a good show.
I thought this was an excellent show, like just because there were like so many different styles of matches. Like you had like the UWF ones, you had like the crazy lucha match with Bandito and Commander, you had like the excellent singles match between Izuchi and Ishida, and then you had like the hardcore match at the end of it. Like I think like if you've never seen a great show, I think this is like an excellent like jumping off point, to be honest.
I feel like they have, I'm not going to say they lost all momentum over the summer, but it just felt like there was a dip, but I feel like they've regained some after the show.
Yes, I think this is definitely like the most buzz the promotion has gotten, because I think otherwise really the biggest buzz in the promotion have been like a Lindemann title matches and not much else.
The big thing before this I thought was Irie versus Lindemann.
And now I think you have like Izuchi versus Ishida, and then I think just this show in general.
Yep, for sure. And then, because they got a lot of shows coming up. They got I think, Tokyo Dome City Hall at the end of the year, or is it like January 1st or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Remember. But it's either like on New Year's Eve or the 30th or New Year's Day or something like that. So that'll be something to look forward to. And I guess we'll probably cover that, assuming it's on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, they always are. Like, I don't think they've announced anything about them having any kind of streaming service.
I guess the only show they had on New Japan World Pay-Per-View was the one with Doki, right? With the main event. So, I don't know. Hopefully, I think maybe I could see them wanting to do their own streaming service eventually, but I think the YouTube stuff is really helping them build an audience.
Definitely. I think for now that's like the best solution for them, instead of just making their own like bespoke streaming service and then, I don't know, getting like a fraction of the people that watch you on YouTube right now. Like, because I don't think if they made their own streaming service, I don't think they would like break even on that.
No, but even if they were doing your Twitcasting pay-per-views or
what the stuff that Shima filmed on his iPad.
Oh yeah, that's right. They wouldn't have half the
Yeah.
buzz they do.
So I think this really helps them, and like, because I think right now their goal should be like getting people into the building, and I think like that should be the first priority in building an audience like might be interested in coming to your shows by like showing like the stuff on YouTube, basically showing them like, hey, yeah, this is fun watching it on the screen, but it probably would be more fun if you're there live.
Definitely, for sure. So yeah, we will, I think, do more great coverage from here on out. Paul, any final thoughts on anything?
Not much, but yeah, as I said, like I think we're gonna cover like a lot more. Like I was only half joking when I said this is a great podcast now. So I definitely think like they deserve like a lot more of our attention, and probably going to give it to them going forward.
Definitely. All right, and so we'll be back in, I guess, 2 weeks' time, because we'll have the big All Japan shows, and then we will have the return to Ariake Coliseum, which we forgot to mention. We'll have cheering.
Yes, that is going to be a massive
So
difference.
we will see how over Kaito Kia Mia is.
So who do you think is over more, Ninja Mac or Kaito Kia Mia?
We'll finally find out who really drew that 689 to Corbin Hall. All right, for Paul Vosh, I'm Gerard DiTrolio, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.